Spring is one of the most exciting times in beekeeping. Your bees are flying again, brood is building, nectar is coming in, and everything looks like it's going exactly how it should. But here's the reality. Spring is also when most beekeepers lose half of their hive. Not because something went wrong, but because the colony did exactly what it was designed to do. Swarm, multiply. In this video, we're going to break down everything you need to understand about swarm season. We're going to cover why bees swarm, how to spot the signs early, how to prevent it, and how to actually use swarm season to grow your apiary. So if you want to stay ahead of your bees this season, instead of chasing them around your neighborhood, you're in the right place. And if you're serious about learning beekeeping, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications because we're going to walk through this entire season step by step. So bees swarm because God created them to multiply. And the reason why they're multiplying is the hive is just getting so big and congested. There's no room for the queen to lay any more eggs. They're filling up with food and now they have to split. This is why we're here to control that so we don't lose those bees somewhere else, but I can keep them within my own apiary. And another reason why we like to control the swarming is one, I don't want a problem to happen. I don't want the bees to leave and make home in somebody's home chimney. It helps prevent spread of disease and mites. And so it's really important to manage your bees and control swarming if at all possible. 3 things I like to look for is congestion. When I open up this hive, there's going to be a lot of bees in here. And that is a sign they're really heavy. So they're running out of space. They're growing. So I have congestion. The bees are raising drones because the queens have to have drones to mate with. Temperature's right, usually around when we start hitting 70 degrees. That's pretty close to when swarm season starts occurring. And then they start raising queen cells when all that is occurring and happening in the hive. This hive right here, they're just starting. As you can see, they have queen cups in here. Whenever I get into a hive and I see queen cups, I like to open them up and check to see if they have any eggs in there. If they have an egg, then they're planning on raising a queen. So these guys right here, they're just starting these queen cells. I'm going to squish one. You'll see all that royal jelly come out. That is a future queen. So I don't want that to happen. You do have the option to save that queen cell if you want to raise a new queen. But you have to make sure the original queen isn't in the same box. But today I'm actually going to put in a new queen. So I got to get rid of all of these queen cells. Anything that looks like a queen cup or queen cell, I'm just going to knock off. And I have to go through every single frame to make sure I got them all off. If I miss one, then they could probably still swarm even after I split the hive. So it's really important to be really thorough and go over everything. So let's break it down. Before I get into all this digging into the hive, there's a couple things I like to have on hand so I'm all ready for my split. Obviously your hive tool, you gotta get into the hive. You got my smoker, gotta feed the hive after I've split them. I wanna make sure I give them the resources that they need so they can continue raising brood so it doesn't stress them out, even just in case there may be not enough food for them available. That's what I like to do. And then I have my queen here ready to go, mated queen that I can stick in the hive that does not have the original queen in it. And then I also have a couple boxes. I'm going to split this hive to a side-by-side. So I'm going to split this hive into 2. And I'm going to want to add a box right on top of it right away so it gives them space to grow into. Otherwise, I'll have another swarm. So what I like to do is I like to take this hive, I like to set it up away from the other hive. You can do it on the ground, wherever you need to. But that way it separates the queen so she's not running back and forth and I don't miss her. If I don't find her up here, then she's probably in the bottom. So I need to go through all these frames. Whenever I pull that first frame out, I'm always going really slow. I don't want to roll any bees as I do it. I'm looking at the frames here. And what I'm doing is I'm going to be equalizing the hive so I have equal resources, equal brood in both of the hive. So keep track of what resources you have available. This top one's a little heavy on food. So the bottom one probably doesn't have as much going on. So I'm seeing eggs here. If you don't see eggs in your hive, that means either they are preparing to swarm or they have already swarmed. So I'm seeing eggs, so the queen is present. Now it's just trying to find her. Be patient. When you do this, don't overthink it. A lot of beekeepers overthink it. As long as you got enough bees and brood in each hive, and your split should work out pretty good. This frame is just full of uncapped brood, so this queen's kicking butt. Capping this frame as well. Open brood, they're just capping. So all these bees have hatched in the top, and they're just now going back and filling it back up. So you see all the pollen up here around the brood, and then the honey on the outside. That's a good frame of resources and brood. That's what we like to see. That rainbow effect. No queen. So now I know that the queen isn't in this top box. Most likely she's down there. So I'm gonna equalize the resources as I go through this. So I wanna give them, this will be my bottom box for the new hive. So I wanna make sure that there's some honey on the outside. They got a honey pollen, there's a brood. So I'm gonna probably move some of this honey over to the bottom box here. So now I'm going to go down in the bottom box and really look closely, as she's going to be down here. So again, I got queen cups. I'm going to just break those. I want to make sure if there's any eggs in those, that they're not going to raise a queen. So now there's the queen right there. So now I know for sure she's in the bottom. So I'm still got to go through and just double check, make sure there's no queen cells. But now I'm confident and I can set her back in here and now finish moving on with my split, equalizing the resources. So that's frame, 2 frames of brood. So my ultimate goal as I'm doing this is I want to have at least 3 frames of brood in each one. If you have more, that's fine. Just divvy them up. And same with the food. A couple frames on each side of the box. You can put some in the top box as well if you have too much. I want to make sure that there's plenty of room for the queen to lay. So that is why we're adding a second box after we make this split. So that's the 4th brood frame here. So this one's got 4. Let's see what else they got. This one is a partial brood, a big pollen frame. I'm actually going to move this brood frame in with the new queen. Active queen, original queen, she's going to keep laying, doing her thing. The new queen we're putting in here, it's going to take her a minute to get going. I'm going to give them an extra half frame of brood. So this one's got 4 frames. They got 2 honeys right here on the side. That one's a pollen frame. So I'm going to put in empty frames out of my boxes, fill in the space. I like to spread them out. If it's warm enough, usually you can put this right in the middle and they'll build brood right on that. If we're hitting some colder temperatures, if we're still not out of the woods as far as winter, like here we keep getting these cold spells. Usually I wouldn't separate the brood too much. So we want to make sure that they keep warm as much as possible. So now I can add my second box onto here. So I got my feeder and empty frames. If you had a lot more brood and you wanted to pull a frame or 2 of brood up to the top to encourage them to build, you can do that. And I have an extra frame of honey here. Keep the honey to the outside of the boxes. There's a little bit of pollen on that one. So now I'm going to feed these guys. Whenever I add a box, I like to give them some syrup, something to encourage them to come up and eat. And then also just helps encourage them to raise brood and keep it. I'm supporting their brood that I want them to raise. So that first half is done. Close it up. My second half, now this is my bottom. I'm going to move it. If you're doing a hive that's side by side, you can put your split right by each other. I like to rotate the hive slightly so the entrance is facing a different direction from your original mother hive. In this case, we're going to move it right here, fill in that empty spot. And this is a good time too, as you're adding a box, clean these up a little bit. Propolis just builds up and starts spreading the frames apart, trying to keep them all close together. Okay, so I'm actually going to put this one in the middle, give them something to work on. Okay, so I got my bottom. I'm going to grab my other box now. Have it all ready. I'm going to grab the extra frame of honey that I can put in the top. Put everything back in. Finally, we got this going. So I have my queen. Make sure she's alive. I always put the queen in the middle where the brood's at. put her down so the screen is not against the frame so the bees can access her. And they'll eat through that candy within a couple, 2-3 days. Release her and I'll go back and check on her. Make sure she's been released. 3 to 5 days after that, I'll go check on her again. Should see some eggs. Again, I'm gonna fill this up with syrup. I got enough food to start building out this top box. A lot of new beekeepers get really intimidated by this process. They're afraid they're gonna do something wrong. But really, don't overthink it. You're splitting the hive. We wanna make sure there's enough bees in both of them and enough brood. So to reiterate what we just did, we took a strong, robust hive that would have been swarming really soon. And before that could happen, I broke it down into two, found the queen, figured out where she was to keep her, and then I added the queen to the other hive. We equalized resources and brood and food, and added a queen to the hive that was queenless, added a box, fed them, and now I'll go back in a week, I'll check on them and see how they're doing. We mitigated swarming, we gave the hive space so that they can grow, prevent the swarm from happening, and we doubled our numbers just like that. So thanks for joining us. Make sure you subscribe. If you want to learn more about beekeeping and how to have a successful year, there's a link down below that gives you access to our beginner's guide and also our hive calendar that breaks down the year month to month of things that you can be doing and what to look forward to the next month. Thanks guys for joining us today. We'll see you next time.